Alright guys, part 2, going into Rocky back against Jordan, aka Giuseppe. My phone is, it was freezing. I was like, why won't it give me the fucking golden tea? Before I apply a Maniacs here, I want to make sure I'm not too close to the mountain because this thing does play severely downhill. But I want to make sure I'm going to go far enough that I can use my 9 wood. And even if I go too far, if I go way over here, like right there, let's go right there looks good. Even if I go too far, I know how to severely count down with my 9 wood. I just don't want to get behind that big front part of the mountain. Okay, good. The flag's this way, so I won't hit the front part of the mountain. If the flag was over here, we'd be playing a cut shot. And we have 203, so we are good for the 9 wood. I'm glad I went full power. The 7 wood will make it over, but why use a 7 wood when you can use a 9? We have a right 2.5 wind and a left 4 green, so we're going to go over this way just a little bit. Not too much. We're going to go over like right about there. Oh, here's a secret. If you put your 2 fingers on the phone and pull down, it'll move the camera up, and you can adjust for the wind up here and then just lift your fingers off simultaneously at the same time, and it'll drop it straight down, and you'll keep the accuracy you just set up for. That way you don't have to try to guess with a flyby like you do on Juniper 2. Alright, we need to lose 3 yards, which is 1.5%. We also probably need to lose close to another percent for the slight forward of the wind, so we're going to lose 2.5. And then with the down 2 green, it doesn't actually play down 2. It plays down 1. That's just something I remembered from trial and error of going at good setups like this and playing it down 2 the way it says and coming up short. So we're going to go down 3.5%, which is about right there. And hopefully get in the hole. Oh, no, didn't get in the hole. I was hoping to hold that out, but... Alright, for here, there's 2 options. You can tee off here, or you can send it with a gold tee and a Maniacs or a Torpedo way out in the fairway, past where the rock juts out. Or if it's not going to make it, you can go over here and then go over the edge of the rock. I tee off to either one of those depending on where the flag is. We have a very, very left flag, and I don't want to have to cross back over everything, teeing off over to here. So I want to try to keep the wind pretty straight. And let's see if we can do this without equipping a special ball or anything. Just use a regular naked 3 wood. As you can see, when you tee off up there, you don't have to worry about being too close to the water, even if you land in the rough. You can see that rough is angled towards me. It's going to kick it back to the fairway. You don't want to be on the other side because then it will, if you hit the rocks, it will kick it back into the water. But I used the 3 wood. So that way I would have fairly straight wind. That's something that I encourage everybody to do. Don't just try to blast it out as far as you can. Position your tee shots to give yourself a good angle with the wind. This straight wind is great because then I can do some math calculations and not have to worry about adjusting left and right for the wind. And also the distance is pretty good because my 6-iron and the distance to the pin are pretty close to each other. I'm only 0.6% above. This green's going to play 4% uphill with a 9 wood. It's going to play a little bit more uphill with the 6-iron because of the low trajectory. And we have a down 7 green and a 12 forward wind, which means we're taking back 19. If I applied an orbits I'd be taking back 9 because the orbits is going to take off 10. But since it plays uphill, I kind of have to play this by feel. And I have to look, if I go too far back, will I go back in the water? No, I have plenty of green behind me. So I have a chance to go with an orbits here. And the wind is a hair to the right. I have a chance to go with an orbits here and see what it does. And if I'm off on my distance, oopsie. If I'm off on my distance and it comes back, there's a lot of green to work with. And it wasn't too bad off. I was too far to the right. I thought the wind was going to kick it left more. Or the slope was going to kick it left more, but it didn't. But the distance was pretty damn close. Alright, this one here, as long as there's enough green in front of the pin, we don't have to worry about that sand trap coming into play. The angled 3 means I'm going to go right 2. And then we need to lose 15 yards. 6% is going to take off 14, so we need to lose about 6.4 and some change. The up 2 wind and the up 4 green is going to change it to playing uphill 2 with a club factor of 0.75. So we need to go 1.5% back from that 6.4 and some change, and that's going to be just under 5% off. So I'm going to pull back to about 5%, which is right there, and then just go a hair over it. Let it register at 96. And I could have just played 95, but I was trying to be aggressive at the pin. I took myself out of GSP range by doing that, but it was worth the attempt at the hole out. Alright, for here, there's 3 different options for teeing off. There's the fairway here. There is the little dirt right there after the fairway. And then there's driving all the way out to here and going either through under the rock bridge. I don't like driving over there unless I absolutely have to. I am comfortable and familiar with it, but it's probably the hardest of the shots and the most cabinet feel shot, and I only do it if the wind is in my face. And with the tee being right there, and I have a kind of forward wind, by the time I turn and attack the green, the wind's going to be pretty sideways. So I'm not going to have wind keeping me from the green, so I can go ahead and go over here. And I want to keep it, I know when I hit this fairway, it's going to bounce to the right a good bit, but I want to keep it close to that edge, so I got to find what I like to consider the sweet spot. And that's not bad. Getting a little closer would have been good. And like I said, when I turn this way, the wind does turn sideways, but it is still a little bit forward. If I go up to the driver here, I'm not enough distance to the pin, but I have that forward wind, and because this green plays downhill, we're just going to adjust over for that left 11 and a little bit more because it is downhill to somewhere around right there, and use a sniper. And I adjusted a little bit more too much, but gives me a gimme putt. Getting GSPs on those very front pins are extremely hard to do, and it's pretty much ends up being luck. Alright, this pin here, I'm gonna turn. What I do is I turn and face the flag, apply a gold tee, and I turn until the flag is kind of not in the middle of my view, but showing up just past the rock edge, which is right there. And I leave it on medium for now, turn over here and zoom out, and what I'm looking for when I zoom out is a bush. My standard line is to put the flag line directly under the letter H in shot guide. And I'm going to zoom out, and I have that, see those little bushes in the rocks? Those little bushes in the rocks will actually catch the ball with a medium tee. Something I've just learned from experience. Was talking to another player about what shot to hit here, and I said, oh, zero hybrid, use a medium tee. And gave him the percentage, and the ball hit the bushes and didn't make it onto the green. So we're actually going to switch to a low tee. The high tee will clip the rocks. So we're going to switch to a low tee and equip a javelin. Now the low tee with the javelin is going to go 289, but I have wind in my face. So that tells me that I'm not going to make it to the flag. So I want to get on the green below the flag. I could go to a medium tee, back out, reload, move my tee to the left, and curve it to avoid those plants. But we're just going to play it kind of safer and get on the green below the flag. And it went further than it was supposed to. I've actually never seen it go that far. Most of the time, even with forward wind, it only goes about 290. So I must have hit like the back, see that rock hill there? I must have hit the backside of the rock hill and had it shoot forward. So I got pretty lucky there. I was trying to end up directly below the hole and just have a straight uphill putt. Alright, for here, I turn until I can see the flag on the map, and if the flag is in the middle or towards the back, I tee off to one place. If the flag is towards the front of the green, or the part of the green that's closest to me right now, I tee off to another. And if it's towards the front of the green, or the closest to me right now, I tee off to this middle area in between the, what I consider the rock canyon. But since it's not, I move a gold tee over here, I go to my driver, and I equip a Maniac's ball. Then if the wind is pointing right, I line the tip up with the left edge of that rock canyon in the mini map. If it's pointing left, I go into these rocks a little bit, so I don't end up in the rock canyon. And it'll kind of shoot it back to the middle of the fairway like that. Alright, it's suggesting I use a 4-iron here, which I could play this with a 4-iron, but we're going to go up to a... Let's go all the way up to the 2-iron. Ah, went away, go. Alright, the 2-iron is going to play like 243, so we need to lose 62 yards. We're going back to the bullet points. 20% is 49 yards. We need to lose 13 more, which is about 5.5%. So we need to lose 25.5%. Since we're doing a stinger style shot into an uphill green, that up 6 is going to play completely true as is. So now we're going to go up to about 19.5% off. We have a slightly forward wind, so we're going to drop it down to about 20% off. And then because I want to get a chance to go through the pin, we're going to go up 1% back to 19% off. Then we're going to adjust for the wind and the slope. To about right there. And go to, what did I say, 19% off? Oh, that's what I said. My eyes are not working right now. I think that's 81. Is here 81 or 76? That was 81. Ow! Little too far to the right. We gave it a good run at it. And like I said, I added that 1% just to make sure it got up the hill to that hole and it wasn't going to shoot by. Alright, here's a fun hole, and we actually have a terrible wind for it. Anytime you have a left wind on this hole, a lot of players, when you have a left wind, will tee off intentionally over here and go through that canyon in the top of the mountain because of what I'm about to do, the way the wind plays on the approach to the green. slide by. Okay, there's the edge of the rocks. We're gonna go somewhere around there. And whee! And this is why, because when we go over the green, or over this rock area, the wind becomes in our face, and that stops us from having a multitude of opportunities with different balls or different clubs. We had forward wind or something, then we could attempt to use an orbits or a grabber or a javelin, but because we have tailwind, we need to use a maniacs. I could use the 7 wood, but I've had a lot of times where the 7 wood clips the top of this mountain right here and doesn't clear, and ends up kicking me back here, and then I have to go 2 strokes after that to get around on the green going this way, and we're not going to want to do that today. Alright, the left angled 15 wind is going to play about 10.5 left and 10.5 down. I do have a maniacs, which is going to add 8 back, so it's going to take 2.5% off of my shot, meaning I'm probably going to hit the top of the mountain, but I'm hoping it'll hit the top of the mountain and roll onto the green instead of going up to a 7 wood. We're going to go, it's a little bit more left, we're going to go somewhere right around there and just go full power with this 9 wood maniacs. Get on. That was actually a pretty good kick. I got really, really lucky with that kick. Like I said, I played that planning on it kicking off the mountain. Where you hit on those rocks, there's no real rhyme or reason for how it'll kick, because the rocks are undulated. So if I had missed a yard to the right, it could have kicked me way out towards the water, or even right further away from the hole, and you just got to kind of play that as is. Alright, for this hole, this is one of the hardest holes to calculate, and I kind of go by feel. I'm going to apply a bronze tee to start because I want the ball to take off up into the air and allow it to attack this downward sloping green at a higher angle than if it were flat. I need to lose 4 yards, which is 1.5%. This green is going to play about 2% uphill, so we're going to call that even for now. Then we have a angled forward 15 wind. It looks by the angle that it's going to play about 12.5, 13 forward. If we called it 13 forward with a club factor of 0.65, it's going to be 7.8 and 0.65, 8.5% forward. The 8.5% forward, if we used a sticky, is going to take 5% off to 3.5% forward. And we needed to gain about 0.5% to make up for the hill, so 3% off would get us there. But we're going to take a little bit more off because I don't want it to hit the green, go over or hit the green and slide off the edge. So we're going to take about 5% off actually. And as you can see, it hits the green, and even with the sticky, it still slides pretty far. I think that one slid almost 2 yards. And we have one of the worst possible setups for Rocky 18. You guys will probably get to see me do something I do quite often on this hole, and that is choke. I think I see the tip of the flag sticking up over the mountain right there. I do. That's the tip of the flag there. So I'm aimed at the flag now. We're gonna go up here. Oh boy, let's see. Driver's gonna land 7% short, which is about 23.5 yards, putting me at 311. 11.5. I have a downwind, so even with a lovely sniper, I don't think I'm going to make the green. I won't make the flag, but I can make the green. Now, if I added a curve, we're going to lose more percent. So I don't want to add a down curve and an up curve. So I'm actually going to go over here, or not much of a down curve and an up curve. I'm actually going to go over here, apply the sniper. I don't know how this is going to work out. I don't like going at this green with anything other than a sniper or a grabber. Unless I'm chasing, then I might use a javelin. We're going to try to fight the wind and gain a little bit back since I moved over. And then we're going to want to curve around that mountain just a little bit. And we got lucky and got on the green. And I figured that's about where I was going to get to, just under 300 yards. And now we have a gut check putt. We need to click over 8 times for the green slope. And then we're going to click over just a few more, probably 3 more because of the down 9. All right. Jordan had a rough time with that last hole, and if I hadn't swiped as good as I did, I would have had a rough time and farted as well. I hope you enjoyed watching the videos. I will actually attempt to make one either tonight or tomorrow. Send me some suggestions on what you'd like to see in the next video, if there's a specific course you would like me to do. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like the videos and tell your friends to subscribe.